Good evening. Welcome. Do you know what a myth is? A myth is a story. The interesting thing about a myth is that it's a story that might be true, might not be true. Let me make a note here. A story which is both true and not true at the same time, perfect for magic. And in ancient Greece, they had the story or the myth of the phoenix. The phoenix was a bird. It was scarlet. That's bird imagery. It was scarlet and it was golden and it resembled a falcon or an eagle. Cheap origami. At the end of 500 years, the phoenix would build a nest in a great oak tree and sit in the nest and flap its wings very rapidly until the nest caught on fire. And it would sit there and burn and be consumed by the flames until all that was left were ashes. You're about to meet the phoenix. The phoenix would burn for days and days until all that was left were the ashes, the embers, the smoke that rose into the night. But the story doesn't end there. No. For out of those ashes, the phoenix would rise again, unharmed, reborn, to live again. For the Egyptians had the story of the phoenix also. For the phoenix, for the Egyptians, was the sun that would die at the end of every day, only to be reborn in the morning. So these are really the first stories of resurrection and rebirth. For out of those ashes, the phoenix would rise again, unharmed, reborn, to live again for another 500 years. And so we'll get together in 500 years and do this all over again. But for now, welcome to Liberty Magic at home, and welcome to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Liberty Magic at Home, a project of the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust. On tonight's show, Joshua Masado drops by for a little close-up magic alongside master magician and off-Broadway star, Peter Samuelsson. And, of course, our host for the evening, from her basement in Braddock Hills, put your hands together for Zoe Ruth.
Welcome back, magic lovers. Well, I gotta say, I missed being your host last week, but it was so much fun to be in the audience. If you missed last week's episode, I highly recommend you check it out. I handed off the host microphone to Eric Jones, who led a discussion on what it means to be a Black performer in the world of magic. There's also some really great performance of magic, so make sure you check that out, as well as all of our past episodes on the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust Facebook and YouTube channels. Well, if you'd like to continue to support this and other projects, you can also visit trustarts.org/supportmagic. All right, speaking of magic, I am ready to see some. So let's welcome to the show New York-based illusionist, entertainer, and philosopher, Peter Samelson.
Thank you so very, very much. How lovely to be here. I'm delighted to be here with you virtually, to be able to do a little bit of magic and to talk a little bit about magic and the delights that it brings to people.
Absolutely. I was so glad you were able to join us because I know we missed your live show, which was scheduled to happen this summer. But
you'll see me soon. I will be there very soon. So
looking forward to it. Absolutely.
I'm delighted about that.
Well, Peter, if you're down to dive right into some magic, I'd love to introduce you to our audience volunteers for tonight.
Love to meet them. Yes, please.
Wonderful. Let's please welcome to the show Jay and Lori, Liberty Magic fans.
Hey, hi Jay, hi Lori. How are you guys?
Hi.
Good. Are you? Let's try something here. Are you guys card players?
Not players, no, but we like to watch card magic.
Okay. Well, we'll kind of do that. Experts with cards, but we'll see what we can do on this here for you here. Okay. So here's the idea. I'll choose some cards for you since we're doing this. Okay, that's one for you, and that should work there, and then one more should be right about there. Okay. So instead of using a whole deck tonight, we'll just use a couple of cards just to keep it simple for you, and I'll arrange them so that you can see them and so that it makes sense for you. Can you see what cards we've got there? You see that we have two pairs. We have a pair of threes and a pair of jacks. So we've got threes and jacks, and here's what we're going to do. It's very simple about this. You'll notice that there are a red and black of each, and you'll also notice that there is one of every suit. You can see that's there. So it was Jay and Lori, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
So Jay, quick question for you, and don't worry about it. The questions are really easy. I'm here to make you look good, so I'll keep them simple for you. So Jay, how many cards did we start out with?
4.
Absolutely correct. You're amazing. That's right. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, and out of these 4 cards, 2 of them were threes, yes, and 2 of them were jacks. Is that right?
That's what I recall.
Excellent. And do you, by any chance, happen to remember what the suit was on that black 3? I'm helping.
It's a spade. 3
That's right. Like I said, I'm here to make you look good. So Jay, you have a job. Jay, your job is really simple. Your job is to keep your eye on that 3 of spades. And Lori,
Yes.
there was another set, and those were the jacks. Now there's a red and black of each of those, but of the threes, there was one more 3, and we know that one was black. So what was the color on the other 3?
Red.
Yes, and you remember what the suit was on that 3 of hearts?
Yeah, it was a 3 of hearts.
Oh man, you guys are awesome. So Lori, your job is really simple. Your job is to keep your eye on that 3 of hearts. Don't let anybody touch it. This, of course, leaves us 2 other cards. These are the face cards. You know they're called face cards because they have faces on them. Those are the jacks. And you can remember that they're face cards because we'll put them face to face, just like that. Okay, so if you look here, we see that we actually have, these are the 2 cards. This is the jack of diamonds, and that's the jack of clubs. So these 2 face cards go face to face, and I wave them around up over here like this. And everybody looks up at these cards, which is fine, except the 2 of you had jobs. And your job was to keep your eyes on the 3s. And I could see your eyes flicking up as I moved over here. So that's why I had to make sure that even though you were looking up over here, I had to make sure that you were still looking at the 3s. So I had to make sure that these are still the 3s up over here, and then down over here would be the jack of clubs, and of course there's the jack of diamonds. And I do this because I want to find out a little bit about you, and what this tells me about you tonight is that you're going to have to pay a lot more attention during the show.
I guess so.
We were not very observant.
You did really well. A round of applause for Jay and Lori, please. Thank you so much. You guys were fabulous.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for helping us out with that piece, Jay and Lori. We have much more magic for you later in the show, so stick around, okay? Awesome. Well, Peter, you've had a really long career in magic, and you've developed quite a few of your own pieces, and they always come with these beautiful philosophical stories. So I'm interested in how you find the inspiration for developing new pieces.
For example, the Phoenix was inspired to me by a man named Mr. Fingers, who was a magician who did this beautiful thing. But this idea of stories that come out of meaningful parts of our lives. For example, this is a piece. I'll show you just a little bit of a place where something might come in the way of an inspiration. So here we have Buster Keaton. Years and years ago, this was a piece where he comes off of a railroad and gets dumped into town. He's looking for work, trying to find something that's going on. The place to go is to find a newspaper, which he pulls from a guy's pocket. And then he starts to read the paper. Now, I'm a big Buster Keaton fan, and I love everything that he does. And in this, these visual gags sometimes come and inspire you to do things of your own. So in this case, as he's reading through the newspaper,
oh, jeez.
You can see it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and until it's overwhelming to him. He has to stand on the bench in order to see it, and then it collapses all around him, engulfs him. Well, I looked at that and I thought, that's hilarious. And then later on, I was writing a show that I did. This is a production that was caught by NHK out of Japan. And in the story, a guy is getting absorbed in the Sunday Times. And the stories keep coming to life out of the newspaper. His arm catches on fire as it talks about fires that are happening, and a fireman comes up and sprays out the fire. And as you see, I like fire, and it ends up in his face as well. And then the inspiration of the Keaton part comes in again here, because that newspaper, out of which there were all these things that came out. There was a baseball that came out, as we talked about, a story of a helicopter would come up and fly out. But then eventually you get to the point where the paper starts to expand and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And in this story, the stories keep going on, and then it starts telling about the stories about the Upper East Side and the homeless that are up on the Upper East Side. And this character steps up onto the table to try and read the newspaper. All of a sudden, as the paper drops down, you see that standing right next to him is a bum, who then goes running off the stage. And actually sits in the corner of the stage as things go on. I come back in, and eventually there's magic that happens, and the paper consumes me, and the bum walks up, looks at the paper's empty, wraps himself in it to stay warm, and walks to the edge of the stage, and it's me. So sometimes you find an inspiration. This was partly inspired by a piece of Lance Burton's and partly by Buster Keaton. So you wrap these stories, and then all of a sudden magic becomes a little bit more interesting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love how closely your style it seems to be connected with clowning, and mime as well. It's really, really beautiful. But what I am noticing, and you picked up on that, is your affinity for fire. Which is very fun and symbolic. But I'm wondering, does that ever go wrong?
You have to be careful about these things. Yeah. Well, I think can I talk? I guess I can talk about this. So, because this was many years ago, and I'm past the statute of limitations. But years ago, when I was out working on cruise ships, I'd worked with a friend of mine named Jeff McBride, and Jeff and I had come up with a routine. In the beginning of the routine, there was all this beautiful stuff with fire in on a scarf, and it changes to a cane, and then I'd pick up the fire and throw it up into the air, and it would fly out over the audience and disappear in sparkles. And one day out on a cruise ship, the paper that was burning didn't go out. And as I watched, I could see it slowly descending into the front row of the audience. And it was about to land in a lady's hair. And I was off that stage, out there, and tapping on the top of her head to make sure that she was okay. And luckily she was. And that was a good thing, because when that happened, I later found out that her husband was a lawyer from DC. So that could have been a much different outcome for that cruise. But as it was, everybody was happy, and there were no magicians harmed in the telling of that tale. So
very good. Lucky. Back in the day when you could set a woman's hair on fire.
Exactly. So, but hey, it's, it was just a woman passenger. And so it really doesn't, times have changed a lot. I know. And, I'm kidding about this, but magic's gone through this huge transition. There was a time when magicians would The only way that a woman would appear on stage would be as an assistant to a magician.
Right.
Luckily, this is changing now, and there are many fabulous magicians, including women who have their own shows in Vegas. But at the time, women would get stuck in boxes. They would have swords stuck through them. They'd be cut into pieces. And these are symbols, these are imagery that magicians were promulgating that I was never comfortable with, and something that I never did. And because I feel that magic is all about the imagery and the stories that we tell, both with the pictures and with the words that we use. And so it's really important to try and make sure that those are stories and pictures that are important to people and that are not offensive.
Right, that old phrase from Spider-Man comes to mind: with great power comes great responsibility, and it truly does. It truly does.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I would love to see one more piece of magic from you.
Sure.
Can we bring back Jay and Lori for another piece?
You can. They won't really have a whole. They're welcome to watch. There's really not a whole lot for them to do in this one, but I will tell you a story. And this is the story that goes like this. There's a very close relationship between science fiction and magic. They both rely very heavily on your sense of fantasy, the flight of your imagination. And there's a classic science fiction movie called The Invasion of the Body Snatchers. 1956. Kevin McCarthy, Dana Winters. It's a story about, the original was black and white, by far the best version of that. It's a story about aliens that descend from outer space, and they emit these large teapot-like creatures, 6 feet long, that split open, and people start coming out of them. And they take over a little town. You can always tell when someone's been taken over because they're totally emotionless. For some strange reason, this is set in Southern California. Could be me. I use kings for my little California town. You can see that some of them are awake, they're face up, some are asleep, they're face down. It's easy to tell them apart. Asleep, awake, and the pod creature. You notice the leaf he shoots? You can almost imagine the pods beginning to grow. Don't be afraid, it's just a card trick. So we have our little California town, our pod creature, and our story. Now it's a soft, sultry California evening when suddenly out of the darkness, spaceship lands. The pod creature emerges from the craft, and the first person he comes upon is a derelict lying in the gutter. He roughs him up a bit, and in a moment, he's gone. Somebody sees this happen. He runs to get the cops. Before he gets half a block away, they tap him on the shoulders, and he's gone. Sometimes they attack in pairs. If they attack in pairs and you're not looking, it's all over for you, because immediately you've got 1, 2, and 3. Sometimes they attack in pairs when you are looking. If you are looking when they attack, it's still all over for you, because immediately you've got 1, 2, and 3. There's a Scarlet O'Hara. You can tell it's Scarlet. She's gone with the wind. I do that just for myself. These movies have drifters in them. They all do. You can always tell the drifter, he doesn't really belong in the store. He's just sort of passing through town. But as he passes through town, they get him. The hero and heroine, true blue and loyal up until the last minute, went in a little cave with a river running through it. You might remember the river. They are suddenly gone, gone, gone. And that is the invasion of the body snatchers.
Oh, love it. And the story.
No happy Hollywood endings here. We win in this version. I mean, the aliens win in this version. That almost slipped out wrong. It's been my pleasure to visit with you for a little while. Jane, Laurie, thank you so much for helping out. Enjoy the rest of the show. Unless you have a last question, but otherwise I'll just sit and watch and see what's coming down the pike.
Yes, well, thank you so much, Peter. I've really enjoyed working with you since we missed out on your live performance this time around, but I'm sure we'll see you live in Pittsburgh at some point.
You will indeed.
Alrighty. Well, Jay and Laurie, I have another magician to introduce to you. So let's please welcome to the show a Philadelphia-based performer. He was actually mentored by one of last week's guests, Randy Shine. He's also a close friend of a Liberty Magic close friend, Eric Jones. Let's all meet Mr. Masado. Hey,
Hello, everyone.
hey! Welcome
Hey,
to the
Zoe.
show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, Masado, you haven't performed yet in Pittsburgh. So maybe so that, Liberty Magic fans can get an idea of your style of magic and what inspires you. Maybe you could tell us a story about a moment in magic that really stands out to you.
A story in magic that stands out to me. Let me see. You know what? One comes to mind. I guess this was around 2013, and I got invited to my first magic convention, Magic Live in Las Vegas, right? So I'm the new kid on the block, and I'm performing. Nobody knows me. I'm doing my thing, right? Masado rings everything, right? And a guy walks up to my booth. I have no idea who he is. He says, "Hey, kid, let me see what you can do." So I perform, and he's like, "Oh, my stars. Hey, guys, come on over. Watch this kid. Do it again." And I did it again. They said, "When was the last time you were fooled by a 3,000-year-old trick?" He said, "You know what? Here's my card. Take my card. You'll want to be at this party tonight at 11. Be out front. I'll send a car to pick you up." Great. So I worked the rest of the day. Everything went well. And my girlfriend at the time says, "Hey, hon, don't forget the party." I said, "Oh, wow, we got to go." I run downstairs. And when I come out front, guess what? It's a limousine. I'm like, and the guy standing out there says Masado on it, right? And I said, "I'm Masado." He said, "Right this way, sir," and let me in the limo. And we drove to this undisclosed location. I have no idea. We pull up to this beautiful mansion. I'm like, wow. I get out and I walk in. There's a whole bunch of magicians out front. And I walk in, and the guy who invited me says, "Hey, you made it. Did Dave see your trick?" And I'm like, I'm sorry, Dave who? And he's like, "Well, David Copperfield." And I'm like, no. Why would he? He said, well, he's right out front. Would you mind doing it for him? And I said, well, yeah, sure. Absolutely, I'll do it for him. And I turned around to my assistant, and I gave him the phone, and I said, "Whatever you do, don't you miss a moment of this," right? He said, "No problem."
Gotta have that
And then
documented.
the guy starts calling everybody outside. I go outside, and guess who's standing out there? David Copperfield, my idol, just like the godfather of magic. And I was cool. I was it was wonderful, right? I don't get introduced to him. He gets introduced to me, right? "David, this is Masado. This guy's amazing. You're gonna love what he does." I shake his hand and I perform the most perfect ring routine you've ever seen. And I get not one, but 2 rounds of applause from David Copper. Yeah. And then he co-signed, all right, and said that he was a fan. So that was wonderful. And guess what? There's video proof. There's video proof of it.
Yeah, you guys got to look on YouTube. I've seen the video, and Masado's like the coolest guy ever. He's like, "Hey, David Copperfield, can I show you my passion?" He's so suave, so suave. Well, hey, I know I am not David Copperfield, although we have the same color hair. Would you perform what you performed for David Copperfield for me and Jay and Lori if they want to hang out and see it as well?
Oh, right now?
Yeah, right now. It's a magic show, man.
What? Sure. I mean, I wasn't prepared for it. I didn't think I would be able to. Don't worry, I got them right here. Here they go. All right. Now, who do we have here? Oh, we've got some new people. No, hey, what's your name?
Lori.
Jay.
Lori. Jay. How are you, Lori and Jay?
Good.
Thank you.
Are you ready? Can you see me? I can see you. Here we go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 separate and solid rings. Watch closely. And 1, 2.
Wow.
Now, as easily as they go together, Lori, they come apart.
No.
Even easier, Jay. Huh? How about that? Watch. And one. Let me get close so you can see. Yeah, I want you to see the moment of magic right there. Watch. And 1, 2,
Oh my goodness.
3. You know, it amazes me too. That's why I do it. Right? Watch. If that was fast, that should be even faster. Now we got 2 and 2. I'll do it from the side so you can see it. The moment. My ring's in the back, this ring's in the front. Watching in 1, 2. That's, you can see it. You literally see it pass through metal. Watch. I'll back up a bit for you. Watch the bottom ring. Can you see the bottom ring?
Yep.
Yeah.
Now bear with me. It's kind of hard working on this this front right here with the video and sitting down, but maybe with a little.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. You know,
Man.
the first time I saw that move, I was so amazed, I forgot to clap too.
No, I'm thinking it reminds me of juggling, but it's like impossible in a completely different way.
Don't pay me no mind. Here we go. Watch. Here we go. Watch. You ready? Here we go. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rings, right? You know what? My lovely lady Sabrina is sitting right off camera, but she's not even gonna come on. She doesn't even know she's going to do this. You see her face. She's gonna point one finger in, right? Right there. See, it doesn't matter where you touch, right? Because that's exactly where it melts off.
Oh, come on.
Right? That you know what, Lori?
We can't clap for that because it's too astounding.
Well, thank you. What you know what? If you like it, let's do it again. One more time, right there in the middle. See, it really doesn't matter where you touch because that's exactly where it'll melt off.
Oh
Oh, well, thank you. Now, the last and final ring, I'll pull it off. Just like so. If I could get the amazing finger of Sabrina once more. That sounded weird. Here we go. Right there. And that's exactly
Oh my goodness.
where it melts off, right? Now, here's the crazy part. You know what? I can't wait to get back in front of beautiful human beings and perform magic for them and amaze them and put the magic in their hands. You know what I mean? If at all possible, Sabrina, Lori.
Yes.
Lori, you will be, imagine you're Sabrina's hand right there, okay?
Reach
All
out.
right? Okay. And you're going to go 1, 2, 3. Let's see if you get a little, that's good right there. Okay, perfect. And guess what? Lori, you're going to link it. Are you ready? I want you to say 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, that's so good.
We're going to applaud for Sabrina.
Yeah,
give it up
thank
for
you, Sabrina.
Sabrina's hand. Yeah. All right. Now, if you guys enjoyed that, I think you'll love this. I've created a genre of magic entitled ringistry. What it is, something like contact juggling mixed with magic. And I hope you enjoy it. Watch. If you practice, you can do amazing things.
Oh, my goodness.
Jeez.
And that is the magic of the Masado rings.
Oh gosh.
So are we going to be able to see that in Pittsburgh?
I hope so.
Say again?
Are we going to be able to see that in Pittsburgh?
Absolutely. Definitely. I can't wait. Thank you. Moment and opportunity.
Love it. Well, hey, Masado, I know you actually make those rings yourself. So if we have viewers at home that want to give it a shot, how can they get a pair of Masado rings?
Oh, quiet as kept. All right, here we go. Are you ready? You go to www.masadorings.com to get an autographed set from me, personally, from myself, right? Or you can go to illusionist.com. That's www.illusionist, not illusionist with an I, illusionist with an E. illusionist.com/Masado rings. Okay. Or you could just type in Masado rings and you go to MessadoMagic.com. Did I say MasadoRings.com? This is live, isn't it? This is live right now. We're doing this right now.
Yes,
right?
thank you, Sabrina, with the assist. Love it.
That's right. See? There we go. Thank you. Love you, hon. All right. So.
Does Sabrina come with it?
No, I'm sorry. You got to find your own.
All right, guys. Let's get back on track here.
MessadoMagic.com and illusionist.com/Masado rings. And you can receive a 123-minute detailed instructional video teaching you the ins and outs and the details and everything and so much more than you could ever imagine about linking rings. Okay, it's my thing. All right, there we are.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Masado. I know you have one more piece of magic that you have requested Jay and Lori's help with.
I did?
Don't leave me hanging here.
Are you right now? You want me to do something else? Right?
Just save it. Save it, because I'm going to ask you to close the show with one last piece of magic. Okay. It's a goofball. Love it. All right. So we're going to check back in with Masado for a closing piece of magic. And in the meantime, I would love to remind you all to support magic in Pittsburgh and to support the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust by visiting trustarts.org/support magic. Also, I want to remind you to tune in to Liberty Magic at Home next week, same time, same virtual channel for another incredible episode. You guys, next week is going to be our season finale. That's right, episode 10 will wrap this season of Liberty Magic at Home. We've got really exciting guests, Jade and Aussie Wind. So two brand new styles of magic coming at you from the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust. Well, thank you all for joining us again tonight. That's all from me. Masado, take it away.
Watch closely. You'll see something amazing. Don't worry, that's not the trick. Here we go. It gets better. Where's Lori? Lori?
I'm here.
Hold on a second. I'm sorry. I can't see you very well. Glasses off for a second. What does your shirt say there? Do you guys have on matching shirts?
Well, we do. It says
are-
Indivisible Forest Hills.
Invisible Forest Hills. What is it?
Indivisible.
Indivisible.
Yeah, Forest Hills. Forest Hills is where we live. It's
Okay.
a little borough outside of Pittsburgh. And Indivisible is a national organization, grassroots organization to promote progressive candidates and progressive values. Started about almost 4 years ago now.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We have our shirts on because we were out standing on a corner in our neighborhood, which we do every Friday, in solidarity with our Black neighbors and friends.
Well, thank you. I
You're
said
welcome.
appreciate the support. Thank you. On behalf of the African Americans in the magic community, you know, I thank you. I really appreciate that. You know, we need much more of that. Is there a website or anything people could reach out to find out?
There is an Indivisible website, national website for indivisible.org.
Indivisible. Oh, it's right down there.
Indivisible Forest Hills has a Facebook page.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's wonderful. Absolutely. I appreciate that. Yeah, so everybody go check out indivisible.org. All right. So let's close with a cool magic trick. Now see, Jay and Lori, I wasn't prepared. You know, Zoe just threw this on me the last second here. So bear with me, okay? I've got a deck of cards. And they're all different, yeah? I'll ripple through the cards like so. All I want you to do, Lori, if you would, yell out, stop.
Stop. Oh.
Wait. When you see me rippling through the cards, you ready?
Yep. Stop.
Do you want to stay here or keep going?
I want to stay there.
All right, wonderful. Here we go. I won't look. Can you see?
Yes, I can.
Jay, can you see?
Yes.
Wonderful. Now, I'll place it back. No funny business at all. Now, I'd like for you to look at me, look in my right eye, and blink for me. Blink. Picture the card. Think about the card. You got it? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's great. Taking a deep breath. Let it out. I think I got it. You ready? Voila and ta-da. Thank you very much, folks. That's my time here.
No, that wasn't it.
I'm sorry, it was breaking up. What do you say?
That wasn't the card.
Sound like she said that wasn't the card. This is live right now, right? Just think about your card, okay? Think about it. All right.
We're thinking.
If I did find your card, right, it would just get a thunderous round of applause.
Yes.
Let's see. Concentrate.
What's happening?
Ooh.
Oh my goodness. Did Sabrina have something to do with that?
Sabrina had nothing to do with it.
That's pretty good.
Not bad if I do say so myself. Jay, Lori, thank you so much for being a wonderful special guest tonight. Thank you so much for helping me out. All righty. And I guess we're going.